Donald Trump is for some reason doubling down on the absolutely bizarre, creepy comments that he's been making about abortion. Listen to this.
I make this statement to the great women of our country. Sadly, women are poorer than they were 4 years ago, much poorer, are less healthy than they were 4 years ago, are less safe on the streets than they were 4 years ago, are paying much higher prices for groceries and everything else than they were 4 years ago, are more stressed and depressed and unhappy than they were 4 years ago, and are less optimistic and confident in the future than they were 4 years ago. I believe that.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
So that's all the stuff that you might remember we talked about yesterday in the show that was around his, but you won't have to think about abortion anymore after the election. All of that stuff. This strangely paternalistic thing where he's gonna be the savior that comes in and saves America's women from all of these problems that only affect them. They're the only ones that buy groceries, obviously, from Donald Trump's point of view. And he's gonna save them so they don't have to suffer anymore. They don't have stress anymore. They don't have to think anymore. He's gonna protect them from all that stuff. And here is how he's going to do it.
I am your protector. I want to be your protector. As president, I have to be your protector. I hope you don't make too much of it. I hope the fake news doesn't go, oh, he wants to be their protector. Well, I am. As president, I have to be your protector. I will make you safe at the border, on the sidewalks of your now violent cities, in the suburbs where you are under migrant criminal siege. You will no longer be abandoned, lonely, or scared. You will no longer be in danger. You're not going to be in danger any longer. You will no longer be thinking about abortion. So all they talk about abortion because we've done something that nobody else could have done. It is now where it always had to be, with the states and a vote of the people.
I don't even know where to start with some of this. I love the idea that everybody, everywhere, small towns, big cities, you're under siege, which is when you're under siege and the person saying it is having a seizure, I think is how that works. And so you women, thinking about abortion again, you think that like you didn't want Roe v. Wade to be killed. No. I did what nobody could have done. And I say that because I know many of you are thinking that it never should have been done. But think about it from my perspective. I did what couldn't have been done, and I'll protect you. And the fake news media is gonna be like, he's a protector. Well, as a member of the fake news media, I guess I do have to freak out about that, because who the hell are you? Maybe one of the reasons they have more stress, maybe one of the reasons that they're so freaked out about all this stuff is because you took away some of their rights to bodily autonomy. Have you considered your own role in this, Donald Trump? But anyway, I have other thoughts. Garrison, I'm really curious what you think about. Like, this is, I guess, supposed to win over women. Stop thinking about your rights being taken away and just think about scary Guatemalans or something, and then vote for me.
Yeah, I wonder who the women are in Donald Trump's life often. Like, who are the women that are telling him this is the message that's winning for us? This is what we want to hear, that we don't have the right to choose what happens with our own body. You know, they've been using this line about, except in the case of, saving the life of the mother. But I thought that Vice President Kamala Harris actually asked a really poignant question. At what point does it become saving the life of the mother? Is it when she's on death's door, when she's like on her last leg in this last moment? Now you can save the life of the mother. I think what many women in this country understand, and what polling suggests, is that they don't feel like they are safe in the hands of Donald Trump making these decisions on their behalf, because he's very likely he's way too far to make these decisions, and he doesn't know what's going on in their lives. And so I think it's just, I hate to bring this back, not to sound like a Democrat. I think it's weird. It really is very, very weird that they continue to kind of put this out there. And I wonder if this is a force of habit, or if there is actual polling, some internals that they have that says that this works. Because as I'm hearing it, and the women in my life are hearing it, they don't feel like this is the message that wins for them. And I'm really curious how they keep coming back to this kind of message where Donald Trump alone can save this country. He's the only person who can save women. He's the only person who can stop immigration. In fact, he's the only person who can stop anxiety. That's quite a claim. It's quite a claim that you won't have anxiety anymore if Donald Trump is president.
Yeah, the strange thing is, I feel like I had a little bit more anxiety when he was president, actually. I think that was kind of like the premise of this show. It's called The Damage Report because we'd wake up and dear God, what has happened? But maybe the second term will be different. I love your reference to the protecting the life of the mother. I love when people throw out that term because, and I've made this point so many times, people are not trained as doctors for the most part. People don't know. They think that like you're strapped into a gurney and all of a sudden a green light goes off. It's like, oh, life of the mother's threatened. That's not how that works at all. It's a series of guesses and diagnostics that might come too late. And maybe you're lucky to be in a hospital that has the right equipment or a doctor that has the right training. And the doctors also have to make this decision knowing that if they make the wrong decision or make it at the wrong time, or if someone can make the case that they made it at the wrong time, maybe they go to jail for 5 years. And so the idea that it's some sort of objective standard rooted in science is farcical. It's just not how it works. And we know the human cost of that.
And we really do. I mean, it's worth saying her name, right? Amber Nicole Thurman, a woman in the Atlanta area who was denied a DNC and she lost her life. She was suffering for 20 hours because the hospital was afraid to take the necessary steps to save her life. When we're talking about protecting the life of the mother, you're making the exact point. When do we know when that protection should jump in? It should start. And when you have laws that criminalize doctors and nurses and medical professionals, when it makes it a possibility that they could spend the rest of their life in prison, they are going to walk very, very slow on this whole idea of protecting the life of women, the lives of women. I think it's really, to your point, you say farcical. I think that's a great word. I think it is. It's almost the way I see it. It almost feels intentionally cruel to use these talking points to convince folks that there's something reasonable about this approach. You can have your beliefs and your views on abortion. Fine. Have your thoughts, have your beliefs, have your moral values. That's fine. But it feels as though there are individuals in this country who are manipulating the conversation in a way to make people believe that this is logical, that this makes sense in any way. But when you look at the instances of women being placed in these dire situations where their lives are on the line and doctors feel like their hands are tied, it really brings that reality that this is just not my business. It's not Donald Trump's business. It's not the government's business to be influencing the way those decisions are made, because there's so many details that go into it. And so I think it's crazy, if I'm just being completely honest with you. And I'm hopeful that the rest of the American people can make an informed decision on how to provide the adequate care to women that they need.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, from past elections and past ballot measures, it seems like they can.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to immigration in just a sec, but like again, you said maybe they have some sort of internal polling that like just telling all these people, no, you wanted me to do this. Yeah, I know you think you didn't want your rights taken away. No, you did. Everybody did. You did. Your friends did. Everybody did. Such a weird thing to say. And you have to have such a weird idea of those people, a lack of respect to think that could work. Like imagine if like I get elected and I ban assault rifles, I ban all guns because I'm a Democrat. So obviously I want to ban every gun. So I ban all the guns. And then some right wingers are mad about it. I tell them, no, you wanted me to do that. You know, everybody wanted the guns to be banned. You wanted them to be banned. It's back in the will of the people. Like, can you imagine? As these Republican states try everything they can to do to block ballot measures from allowing the people to weigh in on it. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?